Should have been dark by then. The station clock drifted past midnight without a sound from the street below. Only the low hum of old equipment and a signal refusing to go. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying secrets too heavy to disguise. The green V meters glowed softly against the wood-paneled walls, and every trembling harmony made the shadows stand tall. The final broadcast had already ended, but the room refused to agree. The red light stayed above the doorway, like it still had something to say. The song they played after midnight, radio closed, still echoes through the years. The song they played after midnight, radio closed, still sounds like hidden tears. Too much soul, too much flame. The song they played after midnight, radio closed, nothing survived the same. Hey, stay tuned, stay near, stay near, stay near. The signal's still in here. The console lights kept blinking across the sleeping room, like distant stars above a city, lost inside the gloom. The old speakers carried memories no archive could contain, and every note she delivered returned heavier with pain. A real cat turning slowly beneath the amber glow, like it understood the story nobody was meant to know. Maybe certain frequencies never truly die. Maybe soul survives forever, traveling through the sky. Maybe forgotten broadcast find ears they were meant to find. Maybe the signal stayed alive because it carried part of her mind. The song they played after midnight, radio closed, even after dawn arrived. The song they played after midnight, radio closed, survive the same. The on-air light should have been dark by then. The static never fully disappeared. A low hum drifted through the station long after midnight passed. The city faded beyond the windows, but the signal held fast. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying memories too heavy to disguise. The green view meters glowed softly across the sleeping room, and every trembling harmony made the shadows bloom. The final program had ended. The station should have gone dark, but something moved through the speakers like a voice searching for a heart. The signal stayed alive long after midnight came. The signal stayed alive, still whispering her name. Too much soul, too much flame. The signal stayed alive. Nothing survived the same. Stay still on, still on, still near, still near. You can hear her in here. The console lights kept blinking beneath the amber glow, like distant stars in orbit, refusing to let go. The old speakers carried echoes across the wooden walls, and every note she delivered seemed larger than the hall. A reel kept turning slowly through smoke and fading light, like it understood the sorrow still moving through the night. Maybe certain frequencies carry more than sound. Maybe same. The static never fully disappeared. The phone light kept glowing after sign off. A single line remained open inside the sleeping station, while the city disappeared beyond the condensation. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying answers too painful to disguise. The piano rose softly through the speaker's hum, and every trembling harmony made the darkness come undone. The final broadcast had faded, the advertisements were gone, but one small blinking indicator refused to move on. The last caller stayed on the line long after the song was through. The last caller stayed on the line like the signal already knew. Too much soul, too much flame. The last caller stayed on the line. Nothing survived the same. Hold on, stay near. The signal's still in here. The switchboard lights kept flickering across the wooden frame, like distant stars arranging the letters of a name. The speakers carried echoes through smoke and amber light, and every word she delivered stayed suspended in the night. The old reel turned slowly beside the glowing board, like it knew this conversation could never be ignored. Maybe certain voices travel further than they should. Maybe lonely frequencies still search the neighborhoods. Maybe midnight leaves channels open in the air. Maybe the lines stay connected because heartbreak was still there. The last caller stayed on the line even after dawn arrived. The last caller stayed on the line like the station stayed alive. Too much truth, too much rain. never went dark. The city slept beneath a storm, beyond the station walls. But deep inside the control room, the night ignored the calls. She stood beside the microphone, with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying memories too painful to disguise. The piano rose softly through the amber haze, and every trembling harmony seemed lost between the days. The final program had concluded. The playlist reached its end, but something in the studio refused to break the spell. The DJ forgot to end the broadcast after she sang that song. The DJ forgot to end the broadcast, like the night needed more. The same. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay near, stay near. The signals breathe in here. The VU meters kept dancing under green control room light, like the music found a pulse that belonged only to the night. The speakers carried echoes across the wooden walls, and every word she delivered seemed larger than them all. The reel-to-reel kept spinning beneath the amber glow, like it already understood something nobody could know. Maybe radio remembers every soul it saves. Maybe certain frequencies outlive their graves. Maybe midnight keeps secrets no daylight can explain. Maybe the broadcast stayed alive because it carried a pain. The DJ forgot to end the broadcast even after dawn arrived. The DJ forgot to end the broadcast, like the station stayed alive. Too much truth, too much rain. The DJ forgot to end the broadcast. Nothing survived the same. The red light never went dark. The mix stopped sounding like a recording. The station glowed quietly beneath tired amber light. Outside, the city disappeared. Inside, the room held tight. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying a secret too painful to disguise. The piano rolled softly across the sleeping room, and every trembling harmony made the shadows bloom. The level stayed perfect, the signal stayed clean, but something moved beyond the meters into places rarely seen. The engineer took off his headphones halfway through the night. The engineer took off his headphones and stared into the light. Too much soul, too much flame. The engineer took off his headphones. Nothing survived the same. Stay close, stay close, stay near, stay near. Something changed in here. The VU needles kept dancing across the emerald glow, like they were measuring feelings no equipment could know. The speakers carried heartache through wood and wire alike, and every note she delivered landed with twice the strike. The reel kept turning slowly beneath the station clock, like it knew the room had wandered beyond its usual borders. Maybe some songs grow larger than the rooms that born inside. Maybe radio survives by giving pain a place to hide. Maybe certain voices reach beyond what ears can hear. Maybe he removed the headphones when the music became too clear. The engineer took off his headphones even after dawn arrived. The engineer took off his headphones like the station stayed alive. Too much truth, too much rain. The engineer took off his headphones. Nothing survived the same. The mix stopped sounding like a recording. The second hand froze. without warning. The station drifted deeper into the final hours of night. Green meters glowed softly against the fading light. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying memories too painful to disguise. The piano rolled softly through smoke and amber air, and every trembling harmony made the silence aware. The broadcast kept moving, the reels continued to spin, but something in the room refused to move again. The station clock stopped at 2:17, right in the middle of her song. The station clock stopped at 2:17, like time knew where it belonged. Too much soul, too much flame. The station clock stopped at 2:17. Nothing survived the same. Oh, still, stay near, stay near, stay near. Something happened here. The reel-to-reel kept turning beneath the console glow. The speakers carried echoes no archive could ever hold. The red on-air light burned steady through the haze, and every note she carried seemed detached from passing days. The clock remained suspended above the studio wall, like the room had stepped outside the reach of time at all. Maybe certain songs been timed without meaning to. Oh, maybe soul survives forever when the truth comes through. Maybe memories stop aging when they find the perfect frame. Maybe 2:17 stayed frozen because the room could never be the same. The station clock stopped at 2:17, even after dawn arrived. The station clock stopped at 2:17, like the station stayed alive. Too much truth, too much rain. The station clock stopped at 2:17. Nothing survived the same. The second hand froze without warning. The steam disappeared before the song ended. A paper cup rested quietly beside the glowing board, while the station drifted deeper into the final hours before dawn. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying a truth too painful to disguise. The piano rolled softly through amber-colored air, and every trembling harmony made the room more aware. The signal stayed unwavering, the reels continued to spin, but the atmosphere kept changing with every note she let in. The coffee went cold beside the console while she sang that line. The coffee went cold beside the console, like the room forgot the time. The same. Hey, stay still, stay still, stay near, stay near. The signals breathe in here. Greenview meters flicker across the sleeping room, like tiny city skylines hidden in the gloom. The speakers carried heartache across wood and wildlife, and every word she delivered landed with a deeper stride. The station clock kept ticking above the console glow, while the untouched cup beside it seemed the only thing that knew. Maybe certain songs suspend the habits of a night. Maybe soul survives forever when it reaches past the mind. Maybe ordinary moments become sacred without warning. Maybe the coffee lost its warmth because the room stopped noticing. Oh, the coffee went cold beside the console, even after dawn arrived. The coffee went cold beside the console, like the station stayed alive. Too much truth, too much rain. The coffee went cold beside the console. Nothing survived the same. The steam disappeared before the song ended. The building should have been asleep by now. Beyond the station windows, the city surrendered to dawn. But inside the control room, something still held on. She stood beside the microphone with midnight in her eyes, like somebody carrying memories too painful to disguise. The piano rolled softly through the fading haze, and every trembling harmony seemed detached from passing days. The reels continued turning, the speakers held the air. The room fell suspended between absence and repair. The red-on air light outlived the night, still glowing after dawn. Was holding on. Too much soul, too much flame. The red-on air light outlived the night. Nothing survived the same. Still bright, still near. You can feel her signal here. The green meters flickered beneath the studio glow, like tiny heartbeats hidden in circuits long ago. The speakers carried echoes across wood and wire alike, and every note she delivered returned with greater weight. The station clock kept moving, but the room stayed somewhere else, like the song had built a world entirely by itself. Every soul it saves, maybe certain frequencies refuse their graves. Maybe some songs keep traveling long after they are gone. Maybe the on-air light stayed alive because she carried on.
The red
should have been asleep.